Oh my gosh, can you believe it that we are already past the halfway mark of this year? This is insane. Time flies when you are growing and glowing. But it's sometimes we need to hit that pause button so that we can reassess our journey and make sure that we are aligning with the goals that we set for the beginning of the year, or I could say our New Year's resolution or intention. So I think now is the perfect time for a mindful reset. What do you think? Hey there, beautiful souls, and welcome back to another Mindful Monday with your girl, Arika Trimnell, aka the Mindful Mistress. I am here to help bring some new perspectives, share some insights so that we can grow both professionally, spiritually, emotionally, all of the things, and really embrace every aspect of our journey. Therefore, breaking the prism of our current limitations. So, today, what we are going to dive into is a very important topic, is really just assessing our goals. This is a mid-year time to assess, just like companies assess where they are for the quarter, what strategies we need to evaluate, what strategies we need to keep, what strategies we need to change or pivot on, what do we need to do differently. So, looking back on the last 6+ months of the year, how have things been going? Are you closer to that which you wanted to cultivate for this year? How are you if you set New Year's resolutions, if you set intentions? How are you doing on that? And now is the perfect time to really, maybe recommit to some of our goals, to reassess whether or not that goal was even feasible, if it still works for this part of our journey in life, and just really understanding where does all of this fit? Are we drifting off course somewhere and we had no clue that this is where we would be at this time of the year? Because that's totally me. I had all of these big plans and lofty goals for this year. And I can't remember what happened towards the end of the year where I had blocked off time to do some planning sessions, y'all. And out of my list, I don't even know if I planned I don't know if I planned any one of them. But what I did do is I made sure to set some intentions, or really what I called like my motto for this particular year. And if you watch that video, I had 3 things that I wanted to do this year. And the first thing was get more uncomfortable. So if you've been seeing my videos, this is me getting uncomfortable, which is becoming a little bit too comfortable. As you can see, the length is starting to increase on my videos, but that's neither here nor there. And also, if you watch me on social media, you see me doing things that I have never done before, stepping out more of my uncomfortable zone. So that's one of the things that I had set out to do this year. The other thing was dare to dream, is to dream some big things that maybe at one point in my life, or even, when I set them, right, seemed a little outlandish, a little like, oh, good Lord, I don't know how we're going to do this. But let's dream. Let's imagine what this looks like. Let's allow myself to align to that energy, to that emotion of whatever the lofty goal. So I have been dreaming bigger, and trust me, honey, these dreams have been manifesting in ways I never would have imagined. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that. And the third and final thing was really given 0 Fs. And that comes from me wanting to heal the part of me that still tends to people please, and that trauma response, and understanding more of when I'm triggered to want to please or placate a situation, and rewriting my story when I would want to initially placate the situation or make sure everybody is good at the expense of my own needs. I'm now able to see these situations before they come sometimes, when I'm feeling in the trigger, like, okay, I really want to people please. And then I can kind of go through my little do like a little pause so that I can assess the root cause of this, and if the action or whether it's people pleasing or doing something else is what I want to do. But 9 times out of 10 to be like, zero F. If this is how you're choosing to respond to what I said, what I'm doing, how I'm being, then that is absolutely your choice. That is your truth. That is your authentic self. Live in it. I do not have to do anything so that action or response looks a way in which I want it to look. So that stays me and you. You get to be more authentic. I don't have to worry about or, exert energy trying to make it look a certain way or change um change any of that. So those are my 3 things this year. I as far as the planning, we can just kind of toss that out of the window. Although I am recommitting to a few things that I have planned for the end of the year, and I can't wait to share that with each of you guys. I'm super excited what I'm doing at the end of the year and some programs that I have coming and made available for y'all. But so that was out of the window. But my other 3 things I have been holding, man, we are giving 0 Fs. We are going out of our comfort zone. Oh, Lord, I can't tell you how uncomfortable I have been this year, but it's been beautiful. And then we are dreaming like nobody's business or like it is my business because that's what I decided I'm going to do. So, um, that's what it looks like, or a way that it can look like when you engage in really just assessing your goals, assessing what you set out to do this year. It is a mindful mid-year check-in. It's tracking the progress of where you are, where you want to go. Do I even need to throw out these goals? Maybe I decide that no, I don't want to plan this year, and that's not what I'm going to do. So some ways to assess this. Granted, I showed you in real time with myself, but some ways to assess that is just increasing your awareness and regularly checking in and reflecting on those goals can really help to make sure that you are on the path of aligned action towards those goals. Of course, enhancing whatever maybe motivation that you had behind it. So again, this could be just connecting to our why. Why did I create this goal in the beginning of the year? Does this why still even resonate with me? Because if it doesn't resonate with you, then there's really no point in sticking with it. You can throw it out. But if it's something that still resonates with you, reconnecting to that why, or maybe in creating another incentives. I love when I see people do like the bingo cards when they hit a goal that they achieved, or some sort of gift or incentive. Do that. If you are motivated by those types of things, do what works. Don't give two F's what people think about how you choose to reward yourself and live in your authentic truth. But finding a way to re-engage that commitment, that motivation you have is huge. Another thing is just making better decisions. Well, right? Come on, Erica. That should be a no-brainer. But I say this because there it is so important. It is not meant to be um just skipped over about making better decisions. And this stems from being able to be mindful and aware of what triggers you, what you are motivated to do or not do. This could be from the environment we're in. This could be to the types of foods and drinks that we're drinking that make us, and I say make us, but have programmed us to behave a certain way, or we've associated them with a certain status or a certain action, and therefore that's how we move. If that makes any sense to you. But really, really making better decisions and realizing, okay, in this moment, I am doing this, and I'm gonna put myself all the way out there. For example, to try to make this a little bit, maybe hit this home a little bit more. For example, when sometimes I'm frustrated or overwhelmed, I might go to a comfort food or chocolate cake. I am me and some red vines. I could tear them up like nobody's business. But the funny thing is, so now when I eat red vines and I know that it's triggered by some emotional thing that I'm self-soothing is what I'm doing, it does not work. And it's funny because I could eat the whole box of red vines, still waiting for, okay, any moment now that, the boost of dopamine hit's gonna happen, my serotonin levels are gonna go up, like all of the drugs that we get addicted to when we do these types of things. I'm expecting to have that hit, but I can finish that whole box and not have a hit. And guess what? I still feel the exact same way. But now I have just down however many calories of zero nutritional value food that I did in an effort to placate self-soothe. So again, making better decisions. Now that I know that, okay, if I'm not feeling that dopamine hit after 4 or 5 red vines, I know the whole box of red vines is definitely not going to give me that dopamine hit. Therefore, I probably should stop at the 3 or 4. That's an idea of how to make a better decision. Now, granted, you do not have to do what I did, but just to help, when we're assessing whether or not a decision is the next best right thing to do. And it's for us. It's not based on anyone else's value system or belief. Is what's the next best right thing for you. And by doing this and creating this awareness and understanding, the other thing that we are doing is essentially reducing our stress. And that's another way. And so by acknowledging these triggers, these challenges that you're facing, really helps you tackle the stress aspect that can trigger you doing these self-soothing behaviors. Then just checking in at the spiritual alignment. How does it feel? How do your goals feel? Are they still spiritually aligned with where you want to go, what you're calling in, all of the things, or not? So take some time and really reflect on the past 6+ months, whether that be some quiet time, a meditation, do some breath work. Maybe you're journaling about what you have accomplished, what you want to accomplish. What are the steps you've been taking? Are these steps even working to get you closer aligned? The reflection part is a key aspect, because if you aren't measuring, how do you know when you get to the end what worked, what didn't work? So when you create new goals for the next year, you know what things that you don't want to put in the plan for next year. So really, really assessing that and having some time to self-reflect is super important with this journey and having a mindful reset, if you will. So reflecting on the past 6 months, and be honest with yourself. I'm not checking it. Your mom's not checking it. Annie, nobody is checking. Is checking for it like you should be checking for it. So just be honest, like, hey, I was honest with you. I had in my heart, oh, I just knew I was going to plan every single event I was gonna do, the ones I was gonna attend, this, that, and the third, the new products I was gonna come out, the new programs, and ain't nothing that happened. And so we're just gonna let that go, and that's okay. And maybe next year is a year for planning. Maybe it's not. I'm okay with that. So I gotta identify what's working for me, what's not working for me, and use that and to move forward, to fail forward, instead of just failing and stopping. Acknowledging, addressing the challenges you faced. What came up that you didn't expect to happen? You had this goal that you were going to do X, Y, Z. I had this goal that I was going to plan. One of the things that came up was I got sick. I can't remember if it was my sinuses or what have you, but I got sick. So that what was the time I dedicated to planning was actually a time that I need to dedicate to taking care of myself and making sure that I was okay and could wake up the next morning that I didn't get to plan, but that's okay. Again, that's what this reset is all about, is evaluating what worked, what didn't work, aligning to our goals, aligning to our dreams, thinking about maybe next year, maybe some of the things that we had planned, maybe we had a list of 100 things. We've accomplished 78, and we're going to leave the other, like, what? Why did I say 78? Now I got to do math. we're going to leave the other 28, 22, whatever things. Other things for somebody else. The other 22 things we're going to leave for next year for somebody else, or, hey, maybe I am delegating this year. But from this point, once you've made that assessment and you've had time to reflect, you can write down what are your actual steps that you want to take. What are some things that you want to remove? Maybe you do that in a release section, a release ceremony. I can't say that. A release ceremony where you let go of the things that didn't work for you, but setting aside a time for you to really reevaluate, reflect, do some new goal setting, check in with the alignment can really help you on your progress to achieving what you set out to accomplish this year. And also releasing what didn't work, releasing what no longer serves you, and maybe deciding that that's something that you want to do in the future. And of course, if ever I can be of help with any of this, you do have the mindfulness planner that you can purchase on my website that can help you with goal setting and journaling and connecting to that and engaging in this mid-year mindfulness reset can really just transform your life and transform your year. Maybe you're not having a good year. Your goal was to exercise or to be more healthy, and you realize here we are, more than half the year is gone, and you are nowhere closer to your girl's goal than where you started. Now, I would beg to differ, but I won't get into that right now. It's you now have time. You have the rest of the year to make a commitment to yourself. And truth be told, time is really not linear. So any day you start or restart or reset or refresh or whatever you want to call it is a beautiful day and a beautiful gift that you can give to yourself at any moment, at any time of today. So regardless of where you are on your journey of aligning to your goals and connecting deeper to your spiritual higher self, your authentic self, that's really the point, right? And all of these other things are really the cherry on top, and different ways that we could find out what works for us and what doesn't work for us. We're all in this journey of uncovering who we truly are. And part of that journey means that we fail at some things because that gets us closer to realizing, okay, nope, that doesn't work. So taking time to check in yourself really can make all of the difference. And remember that this is not about being perfect, but this is progress towards our goal. And just embrace this part of your journey. If you failed miserably at some stuff like I did with planning, hey, it is what it is. I still love life. Things have still been amazing this year. And move on. I'm not holding on to that energy. It doesn't serve me. It's not helping me any way, shape, or form. But I realize some of us aren't there yet, and you'll get there. So hopefully this planted some seeds of perspective when we think about our goals and where we are, and maybe encourage a few people to check in and do a reset and maybe a realignment. But until then, stay mindful, stay moving forward. Even if that's failing forward, that's okay. And know that I'm here for you. Have a beautiful rest of your week. Love you. Bye.